What's up, everybody, and welcome back to Fireside Giants. I'm your host, Anthony Rivardo, and today going to be discussing this Giants offense that's taking shape here in the preseason. We saw a lot of Russell Wilson and the first team offense in the second preseason game against the Jets, and we saw some sparks fly. We saw a big 80-yard gain down to the 1 yard line on a classic patented Russell Wilson moonball deep to Bo Collins, who catches it in perfect stride and takes it inside the 5. So we're going to talk about this offense. Can this Giants offense be a top unit this season? And let's define top unit in this context, because for the New York Giants, the way that I'm going to define it is top half of the league offense. I'm not going to set expectations too high. I'm not talking top 5. I'm not talking top 10. I'm talking top 16. Can the Giants be a top half of the unit offense after years of being in the bottom 5? I mean, keep in mind, guys, this is an offense that last year ranked 31st in the league in points per game. I mean, this offense has been a miserable watch over the last 2 seasons at least, and arguably dating back longer, really 6 years of inconsistent offensive play from the Giants. However, moving forward, there is some hope, right? We've got a veteran quarterback in Russell Wilson who knows how to play in big games. He knows how to take deep shots, and he takes them quite well. So that's going to be a big part of this conversation. And I'm also just going to generally react to this Giants preseason game against the Jets. If you guys missed the live play-by-play live stream that I did, yes, you got all of my reactions there if you want to go back and click on it. But now that I've sat with it, I want to kind of give some of my takeaways as I react to this game. And yes, that's going to have to do with Jackson Dart as well. Could he be the missing piece to take this offense from a top 16 unit to being even higher? All of that and more in this discussion, focusing primarily on the offense. But I do want to talk about the defense as well, so stay tuned towards the end of the video, because I'm going to have some thoughts on the Giants' run defense, which is starting to concern me for 2 weeks in the preseason. But let's go back to Russell Wilson. One thing that we know about Russ, maybe he's not the guy that he used to be. He's not an all-pro, but the one thing that we know is he can throw the deep ball accurately, and that is what we saw. Now, he did have an interception in this game, another pass intended for Bo Collins, and I will clarify, I'm not putting the fault of that interception on Russell Wilson. That was a preseason play, a miscommunication between the quarterback and the receiver. The quarterback throws the corner route, the receiver runs the post route. It was probably some sort of choice option. You read the coverage and read the leverage of the defense. Russ read it one play, and this inexperienced, undrafted rookie free agent wideout read it the other and made the wrong decision. That's fine. That's normal, and I'm not concerned about that interception. That's the kind of thing that's going to be ironed out throughout reps, and that's the kind of throw that Russ is not going to be making to a UDFA in the regular season. He's going to be making that option choice with Malik Nabers. And that's where this conversation really needs to start. So an injury update on Malik Nabers. He has missed the last 11 days of practice for the Giants, has not played in either of their 2 preseason games, and we finally have some clarity as to why he's missing time. There was speculation, was it because of that shoulder thing that popped up a few weeks ago, or was it this toe injury that's been apparently bothering him since college? Well, it's actually neither of those 2 things. According to Jordan Bannon of ESPN, it's actually a minor back issue. The Giants are calling it normal tightness, normal training camp tightness in his back. So that's good news, Giants fans. The fact that they're just being cautious, taking precautionary measures to make sure that normal tightness doesn't turn into anything more extreme. So I know that Alex and I had that feisty debate last week about should the Giants bubble wrap their players, and I said no, if Nabers is healthy, he should play, but this isn't bubble wrapping. This is an injured player taking time to recover. It would be unwise for the Giants to put him on the field while he's dealing with a back injury, because right now it's normal tightness and it's a minor injury, but if he were to go out there and take a big hit, it could become something more intense, and the Giants are being wise by keeping him off the field for now. So he should be good to go for week 1, and that's going to give Russell Wilson probably the best playmaker that he's ever had in his career to throw to week 1 versus the Washington Commanders, which I am not ruling the Giants out of that game. I know a lot of people are writing them off. They're the underdogs in that game. They're going to be the underdogs in a lot of games this season. I really like the Giants' chances for an upset win on the road in week 1 against Washington. But we'll get to that in a couple of weeks when we're previewing that game. But for right now, I just want to say this regular season, this offense, the Giants have the potential to be a vastly improved unit because of two things. Number one is going to be the deep playmaking ability, right? Russell Wilson being able to throw that deep ball. Keep in mind, guys, Malik Nabers, prior to his rookie season, was an elite deep threat. Last year, he wasn't an elite deep threat, but it wasn't his fault. He only had 7 receptions on 20-plus yard targets downfield. The rest of them were inaccurate ducks, basically, because he had a 98 deep receiving grade, but only caught 7 of 29 targets downfield. That means that those 22 targets that he didn't catch, the overwhelming majority of them were inaccurate passes. So now, with an accurate passing quarterback, you're going to see a new and improved version of Malik Nabers, which is why I've given this hot take once, and I'll give it again. This guy went for 1,200 yards last year with that quarterback room. He could easily lead the league in receiving yards this season and maybe even push for the Triple Crown. So I love the combination of Malik Nabers with a quarterback in Russell Wilson who can throw and is willing to throw and is eager to throw the deep ball. So expect Nabers to get fed a lot this season as he did last year, but expect a lot more efficient deep passing targets. So that's step one to creating a better offense. Step two for the Giants is going to be getting the ball on time to the receivers. Now, if you watched the film breakdown on Jackson Dart that I posted this morning, you're going to see a play where Gunnar Olszewski is running about a 7-yard out route on 9 yards to gain to get the first down, so to speak. And this ball came out perfectly on time, hit Gunnar Olszewski in stride, and he was able to turn upfield and gain 3 to 5 yards after the catch and create a first down. And that's something, if you've watched this channel before, you've heard me talk about countless times now. Last season, guys like Wan'Dale Robinson catching the ball between 0 to 5 yards of the line of scrimmage and immediately being tackled, but not to a fault of their own, to the fault of the ball being thrown late, to the fault of the ball not hitting them in stride and being inaccurate. This kept causing Giants receivers to slow down, come to a complete stop, and be tackled for a short gain. But Jackson Dart demonstrated he has the ability to throw these quick hitters in stride, and Russell Wilson, as we all know, definitely has the ability to throw these quick hitters in stride. So expect more yards after the catch, creating more advantageous opportunities. We're talking 3rd and 4 versus 3rd and 8. That completely changes the playbook. And we're talking about more touchdowns because we're going to have longer sustained drives and more opportunities to get into the red zone because of this on-time and accurate quick passing. That's going to make a world of a difference. But there's 2 other factors that I really want to focus in on. Obviously, we're talking a lot about quarterback improvements, but what about offensive line improvements, guys? I mean, this Giants offensive line has been significantly better this preseason than we've seen in any of the previous preseasons and any of the previous regular seasons. They've allowed only 2 sacks this preseason, both of them coming in this last preseason game against the Jets. One of them, Jackson Dart was scrambling and he was tackled at the line of scrimmage. He just got tripped up. Had he made that guy miss, he would have been all for a 20-plus yard gain. And the other one, Jameis Winston, was sacked for a 9-yard loss. But this offensive line, it's palpable. I mean, we are seeing it every single rep. The offensive line's protection has been so much better. If there's one area that I think the offensive line could improve a little bit right now, it is the run blocking. I think it's been somewhat inconsistent at times, but it has been good enough. Tyrone Tracy Jr. had 5.6 yards per carry on 7 attempts in that preseason week 2 game against the Jets. But this offensive line being better this year, providing these quarterbacks with more time to throw the ball, is going to tie into those deep shots. It's going to tie into those quick passes being on time, because pressure is what's going to cause those passes to be off time or to be inaccurate. But right now we're seeing really good pass protection and a much improved offensive line in the preseason so far for the Giants. And I'm talking the first team has looked improved, the second team has looked improved, and even the third stringers guys are looking like much better players than what we saw for the Giants last season. Evan Neal is definitely making progress after moving from tackle to guard. I certainly do believe this is going to be a transition that benefits him. He looks like a better player. He looks more comfortable, and his skill set does look more suited for the guard spot. He hasn't been perfect. I don't know if he's going to be the Giants starter. He likely won't be in week 1, but he definitely has proven he can be a capable backup, and he has potential to develop into something more with more reps afforded to him. So I like what we've seen from Evan Neal so far. I love what we've seen from Marcus Bowe, the 5th-round pick out of Purdue that the Giants selected this year. He has looked tremendous. He played a lot of right tackle, and left tackle in the second preseason game. Left tackle is basically a new position to him. In college, he played on the right side of the line, a lot of right tackle and a lot of right guard. But now he's learning multiple positions on the line, and he's playing both tackle spots. I think the Giants have found an immediate swing tackle upgrade and a potential starter in 2026 at either one of those two tackle spots. Now, I really don't want to see Andrew Thomas leave the Giants anytime soon, but he's still not on the field. It sounds like he should be good to go for week 1, but if he's not, I think there is an argument to be made for Marcus Bowe to be the starting left tackle over James Hudson. Because if any of the starting offensive linemen in these preseason games has struggled, I would argue that it is James Hudson who's had some bad reps. But I think it's a battle that's going to get sorted out here. They probably go with the veteran in week 1. It's the regular season. It's going to be intense, and it's probably a lot to throw a fifth-round rookie into. So they probably do go with James Hudson. But if I have to be honest with you guys, I don't think it's going to take long for Marcus Bowe to become the second-string left tackle and second-string right tackle. And I really think the Giants are intent on making him the second stringer at either one or both of those positions so that he can continue to develop and become the first-team player at either one of those positions in 2026, most likely right tackle with Jermaine Illuminor entering the final year of his contract. So definitely keep an eye on the development of Marcus Bowe. But also, guys, I have to give praise to this offensive line. It looks better. It is performing at a much more efficient level than it was last season, and this is without Andrew Thomas on the field. Now, if we can get a healthy Thomas out there at left tackle, we can get these interior offensive linemen to keep playing at this level, and we can get the right tackle position to continue playing at a decent level with Jermaine Illuminor. And even with some of these backups being upgrades and improvements, I think there's a lot of hope for this Giants offense to be better because of improved offensive line play and, of course, as we mentioned, improved quarterback play. But there is a third factor here that I'm excited about: improved play calling. I got to say, Mike Kafka's play designs have been really interesting and exciting this preseason. I love the way that he's created open space for some of these receivers. He has bought time in the pocket for these quarterbacks based on his play designs. I think of that play where Jackson Dart threw that touchdown to Greg Dulcich, and he fakes the pitch out to the right, and then he pulls the ball back in, and the linebacker in the middle of the field is now out of position. Some of the defensive linemen have been moving to run fits, and all of a sudden there's a wide open angle for Jackson Dart to throw this ball over the middle of the field for a touchdown to Dulcich. Those are the kind of things that we're missing from the Giants offense last year. Some of those creative play actions, some of that pre-snap and post-snap motion and movement that draws defenders out of position and creates advantageous throwing opportunities for the New York Giants quarterbacks. That's going to help Jackson Dart whenever he gets in the lineup if he does this year, and it's certainly going to help Russell Wilson. And all of these receivers find space and create big plays. I like the screen game that Mike Kafka's been cooking up. He's been going with a lot of empty backfield, 5 wide formations, sometimes throwing screens on the outside to the running back, sometimes having, with the running back in the backfield, a little play action, and all of a sudden a screen to the tight end and some lead blockers in front. A very efficient, quick passing game that's going to be very easy for Jackson Dart to acclimate himself with when he does get in the lineup. He ran a lot of RPOs and quick passing concepts during his time at Ole Miss. And so when he does take over into the starting lineup, having an offense that Mike Kafka is running that has a lot of overlap to that Lane Kiffin Ole Miss offense, that's going to make his transition to the pros even smoother, as we've seen so far in this preseason. But it's also really going to help all of these other players like Russell Wilson having some quick passing options. Let's say the Giants offense maybe not moving the ball too well right now for a few plays. Okay, well, now we've got a great screen pass dialed up to a receiver who all of a sudden picks up a first down, chains moves, and now we've got some momentum. Now Russ can take the deep ball and take the top off of the defense. So really impressed with Mike Kafka right now. I think he's done a great job through 2 preseason games. It's only the preseason. But right now, I have to say, I think Brian Daboll has made the right decision to step down as the play caller and hand the reins back to Mike Kafka. Reminder, guys, Mike Kafka around the NFL is viewed as one of the smartest offensive minds in the league. He's done several interviews for head coaching jobs and lateral moves for offensive coordinator jobs as a result of his impressive work in that regard. He is a widely respected play caller, and the Giants are wise to turn it back to him, I think. So I'm excited to see some more of what Mike Kafka does in the regular season. But I love this quick passing offense that he's putting together. But he's also dialing up some deep shots that in the past our quarterbacks just couldn't make. And now we've got 3 quarterbacks on this roster that can make throws that not one of our 4 quarterbacks from last season could hit. I mean, seriously, Russell Wilson with that 62 air yard, a deep bomb on the 80-yard gain to Bo Collins. Nobody on the Giants quarterback room was making that throw last year. Jackson Dart hitting that deep shot to Lil Jordan Humphrey last week. A lot of the Giants receivers were open for plays like that last season. Ball never came or it came in accurately. And then you've got Jameis Winston. I mean, how about that rollout to the right, throw dart down the right sideline that he hit to Dalen Cambry in preseason week 2 against the Jets? The Giants have a revamped quarterback room, completely upgraded, made that room over, and Mike Kafka is taking advantage, and you have to give him credit. And so is that offensive line, allowing those quarterbacks to operate. So everything is looking positive for this Giants offense. And I only talked about the passing attack. Tyrone Tracy Jr. averaging 5 yards per carry. He's looked really good. Turbo Miller looking like a very capable backup running back. Cam Scatterbo might not be ready for week 1. He might be on the PUP list. That's going to open up a spot, though, for Turbo Miller through the first 3 weeks of the season to make a name for himself and prove that he does deserve to be on the 53-man roster. And hey, even Jonathan Ward's made some plays. And Devin Singletary, while he hasn't impressed me, I thought that he played some good football last year when he was starting in the first 5 weeks of the season for the Giants. So I think the run game is going to be just as good as it was last year, probably better. I think they've got more talent in that backfield, and their offensive line is improved. And I think the improved passing game is going to open things up for these running backs, going to open some things up for the rushing attack for the Giants offense. So again, I'll ask the question, could the Giants have a top offense this season? I'm not quite sure they have the ceiling for a top 5 or 10 offense. But should they be a top half of the league offense? I think they will be. And listen, if they can just be a top half of the league offense, an average to above offense, we all know this defense can be top 5. If this defense is as elite as it certainly has the potential to be, you pair a top 5 defense with a top 16 offense, that's a team that probably wins enough games to get into the playoffs. So there are definitely reasons to be optimistic about the Giants this season, far more than we've been in the past. Plenty of reasons for optimism. If you're feeling positive and you're feeling good vibes going into the season, you feel like the Giants are going to make the playoffs, I can't tell you that you're wrong to feel that way, because everything that we've seen this summer has been very impressive on both sides of the ball. The pass rush is incredible, the offensive line is better, and the passing attack is a night and day difference. So again, if the Giants offense can at least be average to slightly above top half of the league offense, I think there is a good chance that we get a solid season out of this New York Giants football team. And I barely even spoke all of this, and I barely even spoke about Malik Nabers, guys, who really does have a chance to be a triple crown type of receiver this season, especially since he has some quarterbacks that can maximize his potential. I love the potential for Jackson Dart when he does step into this offense. He has looked poised in the pocket, poised under pressure. He's had some scrambling and playmaking ability demonstrated, and he's been very accurate as a passer, particularly over the middle of the field. One thing that even good young quarterbacks struggle with is passing over the middle of the field. Another thing is passing under pressure. Those are the 2 traits that I think rookie and young quarterbacks struggle with the most. And those are the 2 areas that I think Jackson Dart is excelling in the greatest. So I am really feeling good about this. You guys know I was a big Jackson Dart guy during the pre-draft process. Wrote that article in January that I've referenced many times where I referred to Jackson Dart as the potential steal of the NFL draft. I am feeling good about that article now, and I'm feeling good about the future of the New York Football Giants, because I think when he is handed the keys, when he is fully ready to take over this offense, it's going to be ready and waiting for him. So I'm so thrilled about what I've seen this preseason. Again, really just taking away things from that preseason week 2 game, giving you guys my reaction, but circling it into a larger season outlook conversation for this Giants offense. But before I do wrap up here, I want to give some thoughts on the defense. Now, it was a welcome to the NFL moment there for Abdul Carter. It's gone viral. He talked some crap to the Jets on Twitter. He got hit, he got pancaked, and then he got pancaked again. Not something that I'm concerned by. He had a fantastic play in run defense during this game against the Jets. Really encouraged by that. But when the first team defense came off the field, the run defense was disastrous to me. And honestly, they didn't look that good when the first team defense was on the field. Run defense needs to be improved. That is the number 1 area that I need Shane Bowen to lock in and make improvements on. I just don't think the Giants' run defense has been good enough under Shane Bowen. I thought it was arguably their biggest weakness last season, and it seems like it's bound to be a big weakness for them again this year. I know the pass rush is going to be great. When Dexter Lawrence is on the field, it's going to even make things more advantageous for guys like Brian Burns, Kayvon Thibodeaux, and Abdul Carter, who've already been wreaking havoc on opposing offensive linemen. And now you're going to throw Dexter in the mix. Game over for a lot of these offensive lines. They're not going to be able to handle that four-man pass rush. But on top of that, you have a secondary that's really starting to take shape. Deonte Banks didn't play in this latest preseason game. That paved the way for Cordell Flott to go out there and make a great play in man coverage against Garrett Wilson and break a pass up. That could be the rep that wins him that CB2 job. I'm not even kidding. I think that's something to keep an eye on over the next 2 weeks as we lead into the regular season. I'm really excited about the potential of this defense, just a little bit worried about their ability to stop the run. In the interior of that defense, you have Dexter Lawrence, and you have some guys like Roy Robert Harrison. You've got guys like, or Robertson Harris, apologies. You've got guys like Raheem Nunez, Nacho. You've got guys like Darius Alexander, the third-round pick, Elijah Chapman, the two-way player fullback and defensive tackle. There are some names and some bodies in that mix that are competing, but I'm not sure if any of them are really going to give the Giants the high-quality level of run defense that they really need in the middle of that defense right now. It's just not looking too great. So I'm hoping that Shane Bowen can start to right that ship this upcoming Thursday night game against the New England Patriots. That's their final preseason game. And then they get a nice long bye week into the regular season. But hopefully the Giants defense starts to find some ways to improve their run defense capabilities going into the season, because I really don't want that to be their kryptonite. I think their run defense was bad last year in large part due to the fact that they were behind in a lot of games and there was a lot of running out the clock that opposing offenses were doing. But even still, I want to see this Giants defense find ways to improve earlier in the game against the run so that they can unlock this pass rush and allow the secondary to improve and just turn things over to what should be a vastly improved offense. So those are the things that I'm reacting to in this one. I thought it was a very impressive performance from the Giants against the Jets. I really like what we're seeing from a lot of these UDFA rookies. Bo Collins, Dalen Cambry making some big-time plays in this game. Turbo Miller looking like the truth. And I am impressed with what we saw from Jackson Dart endlessly, but also impressed with the first-team offensive line. And I thought Russell Wilson looked good on a couple of these plays, particularly that deep shot. So looking forward to doing many more reactions and takeaways from this Week 2 game. Expect another one with Alex on the channel tomorrow. An update for you guys. I'm moving in the process of it. You can tell I've got a new background. It's going to look a lot different over the next few days. I'm going to put it all together, and you guys are really going to like what I'm cooking. But Alex also, at the same time, is moving and going through the rigmarole the same way as me. So we're both trying to get situated. Bear with us for any technical difficulties or anything like that, but we will have everything sorted for you in the coming days, and plenty of more great content coming on the channel as a result with both Alex and I here on Fireside Giants. So make sure to leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe to the channel if you're new, ring the bell so you don't miss an episode, and comment your thoughts down below in the comment section. If you're listening on Apple or Spotify, make sure to leave us a 5-star review and go ahead and follow us on all of our social media channels at Fireside Giants. Without further ado, I'll catch you on the next one. Have a good one, and let's go New York Giants.
Perfect.